Now I bend it to make some teeth in the shape of a saw. We gather that and lift the teeth and hang it up. Now we're going to prepare the solder for welding this wire, and we'll put some borax powder on it. To this, we'll add the solder, which is in shavings, and we'll make a mixture with water. We'll put it in here, but we'll put very little. This paste, since it's now in water, let's say, we'll let it dry in the same place, on the same solder, right? And we'll let it dry in the forge. When it's red hot, the body of the cauldron is immersed in cold water to make it more malleable, and to be able to work it in subsequent processes. It doesn't progress as much as with autogenous welding, and it's filtered, resulting in a perfect solder. A cross stretch with a lever, serving as a workbench, presides over the center of the workshop. There, Mr. Servant, with wooden mallet blows, rounds off the piece and pounds the solder until achieving uniformity throughout the body. With the wooden mallet first, and then with a special hammer for shaping, the craftsman prepares the curvature that will contain the bottom of the pot. And here is where I'll weld the bottom, exactly as we've done here. Then here, upside down, I'll also add this for a rim, to give it a small rim, right? These smaller cauldrons, called oletas, are made in two pieces, as the mouth is much smaller than the bottom, and doesn't allow the interior of the body to be inserted. A ring of iron wire fitted to the mouth of the cauldron and enclosed by hammer blows along the curvature of the mouth completes the body of the piece. Now I'm going to pump it, because the bottoms of the pots and cauldrons are a bit bulged, and I'll bend the metal sheet a bit now. Not much, just a bit. Once the sheet metal of the bottom of the oleta is curved, the coppersmith marks the size, leaving a small margin to cut the flanges. Now I make the teeth, which are the ones that hold it in place, so it doesn't come out when welding. One goes up and the others stay and make the J. Well, we already have the bottom. Now we'll put solder all over to solder it evenly. Again, the traditional and ancestral forge skillfully managed to maintain the intensity of the fire provided by charcoal, facilitates the joining of the solder paste with the circle of flanges pressed into the bottom of the cauldron. To leave the copper clean and remove the husks that remain on the body of the piece, the coppersmith washes the metal with a liquid resulting from the mixture of water, vinegar, salt, and a product called ammonium chloride, giving the oleta its vibrant copper color again. Picking the pot is the name given to the lengthy process by which, through continuous hammer blows on the copper sheet, the coppersmith decorates the pot with bright dots in a circle. This work is the result of a skillful combination of hammer and piece with hands and mind. The pot is thus covered with circles of bright dots converging in the center of the cauldron's bottom. The anserones, or handle supports, are two pieces of iron in the form of rings that allow for the attachment and rotation of the handles. Sometimes the anserones have been made of copper, but the greater wear resistance of iron gives them a longer lifespan. Their attachment to the body of the cauldron is done with two copper rivets made by the coppersmith himself. The use of oletas was, in times past, mainly culinary, specifically used for boiling vegetables and other food products. Today, their practical use has disappeared, serving merely a decorative function. Let's put salt inside. To guarantee the hygiene of the food, the oletas had to be tinned inside, as tin is cleaner than copper. To tin the interior, the coppersmith prepares the copper by cleaning the inside of the oleta with hot salt and vinegar. A stick with hemp fiber wrapped around its tip is used to reinforce the interior wall of the oleta with sea pine resin and tin. Again, the forge fulfills its mission, liquefying and mixing the tin with the resin, which, through friction with the hemp, adheres to the entire wall of the oleta. Thus, the process of making an oleta is completed, the result of the hands, ingenuity, patience, and good taste of the coppersmith, Mr. Servant, who occasionally crafts these pieces by commission,